Hello, my love, and welcome to another episode of the High Ticket Coach podcast. Your host here, Michelle Hext. Guys, we are officially moving into the second half of 2025. So I thought today would be a really good time to talk about where you are sitting right now, halfway through the year, as we are on the precipice of moving into that second half of the year. So when you go back to January this year, or if you're like me, November, December last year, and you started to plot your plan of attack for 2025 and where you wanted to be, if you were to have a look at your goals and your targets for for the end of this year, and you look at yourself halfway there, what do you see? Are you on track? Are you progressing? Are things going the way that you want them to, or have you hit a snag? Have you become stuck? Where are you at? What is happening? Here's the thing, right? A lot of you are going to be not where you want to be, which is normal, right? We all have big goals and big visions that we set for ourselves. And most of the time we're going to fail them. We're going to fail to hit them all the way because we are ambitious, and that's the plan, right? Reach for the stars and maybe you'll hit the whatever. Reach for the moon and maybe you'll hit the stars, however that goes. So we don't want to get too hung up on the fact that we are not achieving 100% of our goals 100% of the time, because that would just mean that we're not aiming high enough, right? But if you look at where you thought you were going to be around now and you see that you're miles away from it, the question that I have for you is, what are you going to do differently? Because this is the most important decision you can make right now, because a lot of you are going to keep doing what you were doing in the first 6 months of the year, and then you'll get to the end of the year and you'll be wondering why, even halfway through the year when you were like, no, I've hit a reset and I'm really committed to this goal again, why you're still not there. And some of you are really stubborn about getting the support and the help that you need to move through. I was having a conversation with somebody the other day about them coming into my mastermind. And this is a common conversation. It could be, if I were to talk about the top 3 conversations that I have over and over and over and over again with different coaches, this would be one of them. This would be right up there. And it's a coach who is wanting to make more money before they can come and work with me, which, I understand. Nobody wants to feel like they're under a huge amount of pressure. But I did ask the question, so what's going to happen between now and then? Like, what are you going to do to put yourself in that position? And this particular coach spoke about, 27 different things that they're going to be doing. And it was all low ticket stuff. And it just felt like a lot and it felt exhausting. And I just said to her, low ticket is not going to get you where you want to be. Creating those low ticket offers is not going to get you where you want to be. You need a high ticket offer. And the sooner you move into my container and I can help you to create that sparkling signature high ticket offer that you only need to sell one of, the sooner you can move out of this. And that's the crux of the conversation that I have with so many people. They feel like to get where they want to be, even though they're not there, it's like, okay, so in January, we set the target, by the end of 2025, I'm going to be here. And this is how I'm going to do it. And usually it's some sort of rinse and repeat of the year before, and usually the year before that. And it's a lot of efforting. It's a lot of hustle. It's a lot of creating things. It's a lot of activity, but it's kind of cobbled together. It's not really very strategic. There's no patience practiced. There's no pursuit of excellence, so that if something doesn't work, they just throw it out and go on to the next thing, instead of, really considering, what do I want my business to look like? What is the offer? What is the marketing? What is the sales strategy? How am I positioning myself? And then building a brand around that, and really leaning into that strategic approach around each piece of the puzzle, I guess. And there's no commitment to deepening the level of excellence around each of those things. So you've got to start to think differently. You can't keep doing what you've been doing and expecting a different result. That's a saying that's been around forever for a reason. And a lot of you are doing that. You might call it something different. So it might be, you know, the course name might be different, or the lead magnet name might be different, or the challenge name might be different, or whatever. The names of things might be different, but it's all the same shit. It's all the same. And it's a lot of effort and a lot of, hustling to achieve very, very little. And so most of you, actually, if you're stuck and you don't know how to get unstuck, you don't know what to do other than what you've been doing. And even if you find a strategy that you love on the internet and you download the $27 offer and you start executing the strategy, it's still going to be adding to the chaos for most of you, because most of you need to do less. Most of you need to offer less. I was looking at a coach's website the other day, last week sometime, and I mentioned to that coach that, there's a lot going on there. Like, it's very, very confusing, and you've got all of these offers when really you just need one. You need one really good offer. And because a lot of you, and this is common too, right? A lot of you are out there and you're trying to play what's defense, right? You're trying to catch everything in the net. And I don't know if that analogy is even a thing, but you're trying to catch everything in a net. So I've got this high ticket offer and then this other high ticket offer and the pricing is not even very different. And it's like, and then you've got this $47 offer and then you've got this $200 offer. And it's like, what is actually going on? And you're feeling like, well, I just want to meet all price points. And I get that. I've done it myself. But when we try to do that, we just dilute everything that we've got, and we have a really hard time for the most part getting our heads around, well, what's the difference between this $47 offer and this $475 offer? Like, what is the difference? Because there's no real thought to the pricing strategy and what that even means, or why you would even price something like that. And so it's very much a scattergun trying to hit all angles so that you don't miss out on anything. When I would rather you stand for one thing, become known for that one thing. You've heard me say it before, become known for solving a particular problem in the market, and then develop excellence and mastery around that and all of the other components that make up your business, which is the marketing side of things, your sales strategy, your traffic campaigns, all of those things. But back to my initial question. What are you going to do differently? If you're nowhere near where you planned to be at this time of the year, what are you going to do differently in the next 6 months? What is going to change? And if you say, well, I did a challenge, or I did I had a course, or I did a certain thing a certain way, but maybe it wasn't that. Maybe I should call it something else. That's not the answer. So what I would recommend that you do is you take a pause and reset and reflect over everything that you have tried over the last 6 months, and have a look at where you've had your wins and where things didn't, go too well or whatever, but have a look at your wins. And if I were you, I would be doing more of what worked. I wouldn't be trying to reinvent anything else. I wouldn't be trying to just pluck ideas out of my butt and hope they work. I'd be looking at what actually worked, even if it worked just a little bit. What can I do to get that working better? That would be the question that I would have. And if you don't know how to do things differently to how you've been doing them, then you've got to get some help. Because if you don't get some help, I guarantee you this year is going to come and go, and you're going to be setting the same goals in January 2026 for the next 12 months. And I guarantee that at the end of next year, you're going to be in the same boat. So things have to change. And if you don't know how to make that change, then you've got to get help, as I said. But I want you to look at where you are. Ask yourself, are you anywhere near where you expected to be? And if you look towards the next 6 months, if you keep doing what you're doing right now, are you going to achieve what you hope to achieve by the end of the year? The answer is probably going to be no. And so what are you going to do differently? Hit pause, hit the reset, move forward with a strategy that is sound and aligned and makes sense and doesn't add to the chaos, because the chaos and the confusion and the overcompensating by trying to do too much is going to be the thing that's keeping you stuck. I know people don't want to hear it because, in our industry where we are optimistic, we want to be optimistic, right? It's in our nature to be that way. But you also have to be real with yourself and honest with yourself and ask yourself, is what I've been doing working? And if not, what am I going to do differently? And if you are stuck, you don't know, then it's time. It's time to ring the bell, get some help. And if you do that, there is a good chance that by the end of the year, you're going to end up exactly where you want to be. All right, before I go, I need to tell you about a free challenge that I have running at the end of the month, end of July, and that is a Build Your Signature High Ticket Sales Engine Challenge. I haven't done a challenge for a long time, but it's going to be held over a few days. I'm going to every single day give you a content drop. I'm going to pre-record the masterclasses for you. I'm going to have there's 3 days of content. So there will be 3 masterclasses over 3 days. As I say, they will be pre-recorded and dropped into the group. There are going to be 3 audios as well, where I delve more into the mindset and the identity kind of shifting stuff. And then there is going to be a live stream Q&A every day as well. And then there's also going to be a bonus Zoom call. So there's lots in there. It is free to join and I'm excited. I actually created the group on Friday and I didn't know this, but it seems that I accidentally invited people into the group and it wasn't even set up properly. It was a nightmare. And I was getting notifications yesterday on Facebook and I'm like, what? Because I realized people were liking something that I posted inside the group that wasn't open yet, that I didn't plan to open for 3 weeks. And I realized that, people had been invited and I had, a bunch of people in there already. So I'm swinging over to plan B and I'm going to start to drop some stuff in there over the next couple of weeks just to keep the group moving so it's not just dead in there while people are coming in. Now that they are coming in, because I can't uninvite all the people that I accidentally invited. So that's all wild and wonderful and one of those things that I didn't expect, but it's okay. We roll with these things. But anyway, if you are fed up with reinventing the wheel every month and working really hard to find clients, then it's time to build that sales engine and I can help you do that. It's free. So I will get a link up for you very, very soon so you can come along and join, and you may as well come into the group. It's open now. I'll pop it up on my Insta as well so you'll know. You can just click on it and you can get yourself into the group and you can be part of the challenge. All right, my loves, that is it. I will see you next week. But before I go, just a final reminder, do a bit of a review. Ask yourself, are you where you wanted to be? If you're not, what needs to change, essentially? And then map out a different plan. Do not keep doing what you've been doing, because if it hasn't been working, doing more of that is not going to work. If you can find clues for the things that did work, do more of those and focus on, doing more of that stuff, because that's going to be the thing that will get you there. And if you don't know how to do things differently. If you haven't had anything that created, the level of success that you wanted and you need some help, reach out because I can help you. All right, that is it. I will see you next week. Bye.